Good afternoon, Quilt Roadies. Thank you for stopping by. It is currently kind of cloudy outside. The weather report says there's a chance for rain, but I went ahead. The ducks are in the backyard, so I had to put all the feeders, fill them all up. Got lots of to-do lists this last couple of days here. Cleaned the fish bowl. Yeah, the fish was happy. The fish was happy. Anyway, I wanted to thank all of you for all your well wishes, and for those of you that were working hard to help me find my embroidery. And yeah, I don't know what I would do without all of you who have my back. Yeah, I am so appreciative. So I was sitting here looking. I had already torn the room apart. I looked through all the Yazzie bags and was just sitting here pondering where could that pattern, that series of patterns gone that Kathy Schmitz designed for these beautiful little embroidered pillows. Where could it have gone? And as I was sitting here, and I was going, yeah, but everyone said it was in a Yazzie bag, so I was looking. Those Yazzie bags, let me tell you, I can't say enough about them. They have traveled across the United States. They have went on ships with me, and they're just so well made. And I like decorating them. Well, I was sitting here, and all of a sudden I was looking at my cutting table, which is directly at a diagonal from me. And I thought, did I look in that Yazzie bag hanging on my cutting table? Surely I did. Did I? So I went over there and took it off the hook, and it's one of my favorites. It has this beautiful brooch on it that was made, gifted to me, and they were in there. Yeah, they were in there. I was like, I literally have looked in every nook and cranny here, and here it is. Yep, all of you who said it was I even tore apart Penny the van. And G was asking me, because we were, trying to get a lot of things done, and so we had taken Penny to wash and dust the inside and vacuum, and just, sometimes when you're stressed, completing tasks makes you feel better, and so cleaning Penny was on there. I was even climbing up, looking way in the back, because I tucked my Yazzie bags and project bags up in the top, and there was nothing there. But here was this beautiful, beautiful bag. And the reason I love this one is when you open it up, you can hang it, and it just has all these pockets, of which I dropped a whole bunch of stuff out of. So, and there they were in there. And it's kind of funny because this bag also holds all of my All Through the Night, which is Kathy's sister Bonnie Sullivan's patterns, because I love these. I've shown these to you before. They are just very satisfying. Very satisfying. And you can stop and take a closer look at some of these. Look at this one. How pretty is that one? Yeah. So this was my it was the sisters Yazzie bag. Bonnie Sullivan, Kathy Schmitz. And in there was all of these patterns, all of these ones that I intend to do, including the next one. And if you remember what I told you, I'm looking here to see, there's Ruth, Ruth is the one that I did. Cecil, Henry, Hazel, Pearl, I love these names of these, Lucy, Bert, Gracie, and Oscar. Look at Bert. Isn't Bert cute? And just so you know, the pattern also includes the back. You know, so you have the front and the back. I was really happy about this, and the main reason being that you have to, and I have let's see where to, oh, I packed up the next one in this Yazzie bag. So all of you that have better memories than me, remember that I have 2 Kathy Schmidt's Yazzie bag. And so here is Chester. And I have all the thread. And what I want you to know about these patterns, if you don't remember, is that they are a one-time use iron-on transfer. So you do not have to, you know, freehand draw or trace the pattern on. You iron it onto your fabric. But you have to do it in a fairly timely manner. So I have to get this one going because you can see it's fading quite a bit. And yeah, so this is going to be worked on in the next couple of weeks. And then Ruth will have Chester. I've got all the thread and everything ready. And just so you know, because I have a lot on my mind right now. So just so some of you remember, if I ask you, where the heck did I put it? That Chester, with all the threads, is in this Yazzie bag. So cute. And that this one holds all the rest of them, plus Bonnie Sullivan's All Through the Night stitching. I cannot believe it. My sister and I were talking about how it just seems like whether, you know, I don't want to say it's my age, but maybe that I just have a lot going on right now in my brain. And so trying to keep myself on track has been somewhat of a challenge. It has been somewhat of a challenge. Well, I just came back from a cross-stitch retreat, which you can, if you are not on the Stitch Roadie site as a subscriber, you can go ahead and do that. Thumbs up. Do that here. All of that helps push the channel out into different algorithms. That's why if I get a whole bunch of thumbs up, then all of a sudden someone who is looking up how to build a rabbit hutch will get a link to my video about Ruth and Chester. Yeah, it's that simple. I do know that I'm a little bit scattered. You totally get it. And that this last week I did go to a cross-stitch retreat, like I said, in Cannon Beach. And I have had videos on this channel of the Cannon Beach quilt shop, the Center Diamond, which it was right across the street from the hotel Surf and Sand that the cross-stitch retreat was being held. and the owner of the Center Diamond opened the shop an hour earlier to accommodate the sheer volume of all of us cross stitchers that are also quilters, or cross stitchers who just need fabric. We just need fabric for stuff to make project bags or whatever. And yeah, I found stuff. So I got a couple pieces. I had intended to make project bags for myself for a cross stitch that we are doing through Acorns and Threads, and it's about libraries. And this fabric just was screaming to me, along with everybody else there. I'm thinking that I'm going to end up buying one of Corey's project bags. Anyhow, it was wonderful to walk around the quilt shop and to enjoy all of the beautiful things, and I fell in love with this panel. So if you think you want this panel, you can call up the Center Diamond. And please, if you do see something on any channel that interests you to purchase, when you contact that shop, let them know where you saw it, so that they feel comfortable about us invading their space and taking pictures and showing off their stuff. So anyway, that shop, the Center Diamond, has a whole bunch of panels, and there's just so many fun things to do with that. But this panel kind of blew me away. Now, I believe it was last year. Some of you will probably know. I think the color blue was my color last year. And this was, and the fact that it was ocean themed, I was staying at the beach. Duh. I have an ocean room, just as a comfortable place to go in there and sit and reminisce about my parents. My father's birthday was yesterday, and he loved the ocean. He loved the ocean. And I can remember as a youngster, he would borrow a rowboat from a friend, and he and I would go out rowing in the estuary in Monterey Bay, and he would row the boat, and he said, I'll always remember this, he said, someday, Anna, I'm going to have a sailboat of my own. So even then, he was dreaming big, and he worked hard to make his dreams come true. And so we did. He got a sailboat. Both he and my mom were great sailors. Yeah, it was fun times on the Monterey Bay. And so I reminisce about those times growing up. And I have a photograph that was published that a photographer took for Sunset Magazine, and it was my parents sailing. And I have that photograph framed in that ocean room. I think genetically I was predisposed to grab the moments. Yeah. And so I honor my parents with that ocean room, and that's where my grandkids stay if they stay overnight, or friends who come to visit. And I have lots of ocean-themed things there, but this panel was just drop dead, and I'm going to make a quilt out of it. So here we go. I'm just going to show you snippets of it. Look at that mermaid. And then a sailboat there. Octopus, fish. I mean, isn't it gorgeous? it's just stunning. And I love to follow, there's a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, who always came to the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show, and she is just a fabulous quilter and stitcher. And this last year, she's been sailing around the world. I follow her on Instagram. It's like so amazing. She has her kids with her, her husband, and they are, those kids are experiencing, yeah, a life that is full, as full. And then look at here, the lighthouse. I mean, I just can't, I can't tell you how stunning this panel is. It's so pretty. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of it, but I know I'm going to make something out of it. At that cross-stitch retreat, I received a sweet little gift from Debbie, and it was in this little cute little bag. But here's a little notepad that looks like a fish. And this, I just love this idea, you know, because I use these needle minders, yeah, threaders, needle threaders. And she attached a charm of a starfish to it. So I'll never lose it, right? I'll never lose it. Yeah. Well, I am getting ready to be sitting in waiting areas for quite a bit of time and determining what I think, because you can't just, you've got to pick the right project for waiting areas. And depending on the waiting area, whether it's like in a couple weeks I'll be taking my car in for servicing. You know, there's just, different waiting areas require different types of stitching. Don't you agree? And so while I am in a waiting area, I know that I will be quite stressed, and so I needed something that would be calming, be easy, and that no matter where I was in the project, I could set it down or pick it up. You know, that kind of project, not having to decide anything. And I had just been reminiscing about the closing of Crabapple Hill. If you're not familiar with Crabapple Hill, Meg was such a prolific designer of beautiful quilts and embroidery. And her facility where she had her workshops was in a barn on her property, were over the top beautiful and wonderful, and she is going to be missed. There's no two ways about it. But her projects are going to be popular forever. And I have several of them. Now she does projects. This is the one I'm talking about right now because it's a small one and easy. Queen of the Needle. Now she does a combination of embroidery and coloring. And so it uses a lot of different parts of your brain. And I have it all prepped. I've got all the embroidery threads, and she was a fan of Cosmo threads. So I have all these Cosmo threads and some Japanese silk threads, and I have it all prepped. See there? So all I'm going to have to do is just embroider. It's just going to be embroidery. I don't have to look for the hole as in cross stitch. I don't have to have a variety of different things with me in order to accomplish it. This is going to be one thing. And the way she transfers her designs onto fabric is with the smallest brown micron pen, and then she traces onto that with the light box. And so I've already done that. I've already backed my fabric with SF101, which is a Pellon product, so that I carry some threads sometimes, and that helps it not be visible and gives it a little bit of heft. And then I colored with a color crayon, and then you put a paper towel over the top and the hot iron, and it kind of melts it all in. And you'll see those instructions. But queen of the needle, definitely am going to get this one done. And this is the one that's going to hang out with me in waiting areas. So okay, what next? What to share with you next? I've been binge watching Father Brown. You know, they're always going to solve the question. I love Mrs. McCarthy. Although Lady Felicia, I miss, now I'm into the episodes where she's not as regular on the show, and I love her scream. When she sees the dead body, she just screams. But, so we've been binge watching those, and just taking moment by moment, day by day, working on my backyard. I told you I cleaned the fishbowl, watered all the plants. Yeah, just been plugging away. I wanted to share this book too. For those of you that do enjoy Stitch Roadies, you've already seen this, but I thought I would shout it out here. Tina Thorson is a stitcher, unbeknownst to me, until I was leaving the retreat last week, that she is also an author. And as you can see, just breathe. I've got to remind myself of that all the time these days. This book just gobsmacked me, hit me in the face. Yes, I'm taking this with me. Breathe it out. Do any of these sound familiar? I'm so overwhelmed. I can't possibly do one more thing. I can't try that. I don't have the education or the background. If I just had more information, I could make a decision. There's no way I'll ever have the money for that. My spouse would never support that decision. That part of my life is over. I'm too old to try something different. All these excuses and more are based in one thing: fear. In Breathe It Out, Tina Thorson will show you step-by-step plan to conquer each of the 9 biggest fear-based excuses that we all face. And yes, I do face some of those. So I did look up, this book is available on Amazon. You do have to look it up with the title and her name, because there are a lot of other books with Breathe in the title, and so they all come up at once. This one has that little dandelion on it. Okay, I think it's short but sweet. Keep us in your thoughts, and we will be back here soon. Oh, one more thing. When I was looking for Chester, for the pattern, I literally went through a whole bunch of stuff, and I have something to give one of you. Give two of you, actually. So I saw some patterns that I already had. They were ready to move out of my beehive. And so I'm offering them to two of you. I will choose two different people. And know that I do not, it doesn't matter to me where you live. I will send them to Timbuktu. So please, go ahead, no matter where you are. Please be subscribed, and I'd appreciate a thumbs up. I really need a thumbs up these days. Yeah. So all I would ask of you is to put in the comments Buttermilk Basin, because there's nothing but love for Buttermilk Basin. Her designs are so fun. And this one, yep, I made them. Buttermilk Basin Sleigh Rides is this pillow. I put it out on my bench every holiday, every Christmas. So that is one of them. And then the other one is a series of, and let's see, how many do I have? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Oh my gosh, it's the whole year. It's the whole year. And it is the Live Simply block of the month. So I don't have the background. You'd probably have to get that from Buttermilk Basin if you decided to do it like that. But I do have every monthly insert. And what I mean by that is that she created this background that these squares could hang on there, and you'd change it monthly. Or you could make a whole quilt wall hanging out of these, because they're not really big. But I have all 12 months. Live Simply. So in the comments, just put Buttermilk Basin and show Stacy some love. And we'll pick two people, one for the sleigh rides and one for this 12-month Simply Live Simply block of the month. Yeah, and I'm weeding out. I am weeding out, so there'll be many other things. Know that it probably will be a week or two before I am able to post. And that's the other thing. If you're going to enter a giveaway, I would really appreciate it if you would check back. I don't know how many times I have never heard from a giveaway winner. And I just wish that if you're going to do it, please come back and check. Yeah. Because next video I will put the name of who the winners are. Okay, you all, again, thank you for your support. You all take care, and you know, I love you guys.